Hi everyone, welcome to Real Science Challenge. I'm Kent Louie, science teacher and talking head, broadcasting from beautiful Vancouver, Canada. Now here's a lab I've done with my students for the past 2 years that not only has them practicing using a balance, which is behind me, to find the mass of objects, it also gets students to practice CER, which stands for Claim, Evidence, and Reasoning. Now this lab doesn't need anything elaborate or complicated. All this lab needs, is a balance and some beakers. Now, before I explain the lab, handouts for this activity can be found at realsciencechallenge.com EP33. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, before the activity, I first demo the students how to use a triple beam balance. I teach them how to zero the balance at the start, and then we find the mass of an object together, usually like a cell phone. Then we get to the activity, which is made up of 2 big questions I want students to investigate. Now, number 1, do beakers of the same volume have the same mass? And 2, do beakers of increasing volume also increase in mass by the same proportions? For the first question, students use a balance to find the mass of 3 100 ml beakers that all look relatively the same. Students find the mass of these beakers and record it on a table that looks like this. Therefore, to answer the question, the first question that is, students just have to look across and see if the masses are identical. And you know what? The masses are almost always off. I get students to write a CER statement about it and to provide some explanations, reasons to explain this difference. For example, some students mentioned that perhaps a beaker might be dirty or chipped, which would add or take away mass from beakers that would otherwise be the same mass. For the second question, students use a balance to find the mass of beakers of increasing volume. Students find the mass of a 100 ml beaker, of a 250 ml beaker, of a 400 ml beaker, and maybe even a 600 ml beaker. And then I get students to expand their current table to look like this, so they can record the results going down. And as for the conclusion, students are sometimes confused by the question itself. So I explain it this way. A 400 ml beaker is 4 times bigger than a 100 ml beaker. Well, does that mean that the mass of a 400 ml beaker, is also 4 times bigger than a 100 ml beaker? Consider a 250 ml beaker, which is 2.5 times bigger, again, than a 100 ml beaker in volume. Is the mass of this, therefore, 2.5 times bigger than this? When it comes to the answers to the investigation questions, my concern is not that they provide the right answer, but that they provide a clear CER statement and that there are some thoughtful details provided. I typically check this lab for completion, and then I go over how to structure a CER statement for next time. And then I'll assess their ability to write a strong conclusion using the CER framework on a test. And that's it for this episode. Please let me know if you've tried or I'm trying this with your students. And handouts, once again, are at realsciencechallenge.com EP33 and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and let's talk science again soon.